on the practice field the first day of camp. Let's shift gears now and let's talk a little injury update. We put a little Patreon article together with a series of tweets from earlier today, and this stuff kind of stood out to me. So Elton Jenkins and Quay Walker news. Now listen, the Elton Jenkins injury status, I know everybody's rolling their eyes and going, he's not really hurt. We know what this is. They're trying to get the contract worked out. I will say this. Well, first of all, let's talk about the Packers camp practice number one, not participating. Wes Hawkins did a great job putting this list together. So the players that did not participate today, Quay Walker, Christian Watson, Micah Robinson, cornerback, defensive end Colin Oliver, running back Amar Johnson, offensive lineman John Williams, Elton Jenkins. Okay, both Elton Jenkins and John Williams listed with back. So is that what's been going on with John Williams? That could be the case, right? Maybe he's had a back injury. I don't know. Now, Colin Oliver, all these other guys, I'm not overly concerned with a bunch of this. Christian Watson, I'm really eager to see how far they push him along in camp. I think what's probably going to happen there, he's going to start on PUP, and you'll probably look to open up that window, that 30-day, 28-day, whatever it is, window to practice him. I would imagine that's going to come after the bye around week 5. I think, don't we got a week 5 bye? Am I thinking right, guys? I think that's
week
what it is.
5, correct.
Yeah. I'd say around there, they'll open up that practice window, and you're looking somewhere between week 5 and, say, week 8 with him returning. That would be absolutely awesome. Now, let's talk about Elton Jenkins here, because the thing that got me, Goody said Elton Jenkins is working through a back injury and will hopefully be on the field soon. Everybody just laughed and scoffed at it, going, oh, we know what this is. And you know, there could be some truth to that this is just, hey, so he doesn't look like a bad guy, we don't look like a bad guy. But this is the thought, this is the comment that kind of got me here. Gutekunst asked if Elton Jenkins has indicated he'll be on the field once his back heals. Yeah, absolutely. Gutekunst says Jenkins has always done right by the Packers and vice versa. Noted he hasn't missed anything mandatory for non-injury reasons. I want to get your all's take on this, because this to me feels like, now listen, it could be Goody putting pressure on them in the public eye, right? But also, what if this whole time he held out for a little bit and that got reported correctly, and then once he got to the point like, okay, they ain't going to budge, what if it is a little minor back injury, a little tweak there that's really keeping him out? Because, Tim, Goody put the pressure on him, man. Like he's literally, he said, oh, yeah, absolutely, he'll be out there as soon as his back heals. And he also said Jenkins always done right by the Packers and vice versa, right? To me, this says we're not doing anything with the contract. He'll be out there. I don't know. What do you think, man? Am I reading too much into it? How do you feel about it?
I mean, he's saying, hey, he hasn't missed anything for not anything mandatory for non-injury reasons. Okay, well, camp is mandatory, right? So, yeah, he better have an injury. Otherwise, it's posturing, like we said, right? So I'll say this, both could be true, right? Maybe Big E, like he tweaked his back when he was searching for that guaranteed money. He was looking all over for like, where is it? But I don't know. I think Goody's got to do what he's going to do, and like he always does, and he's gonna put people's feet to the fire. But I don't think there's anything he said in that statement that's not true. Big E's always done right by the Packers, and this team is going to do right by him, hopefully. And I think at some point, maybe it is a minor back injury or something. I mean, he's a big guy. He plays on the O-line. It's early in the year. You can tweak a back just being at the gym, right, doing something. So we'll see how this plays out. But I don't think there's anything wrong with you taking that angle, Clayton, that maybe the writing on the wall is, hey, your deal's your deal, and you're going to play out your contract, So right. I don't know.
And again, I understand both sides. Like, I get where Elton's coming from, wanting a little bit of security for the next 2 years, and I understand the Packers going, hey, this is why we set our contracts up the way we do. Jacob, what do you think, man? Holmes MD1 says Goot seemed honest to me. Do you think he's being real here? And as soon as the back heals up, Elton Jenkins is just going to step right on the practice field, or do you think this truly is a hold-in? What do you think, man?
I think I'd maybe side with Tim somewhat and just say that two things can be kind of true at once. I think Gutekunst could really think, hey, we expect him to be out there once this quote-unquote back injury is done. And maybe that Jenkins is saying, oh, well, I don't know if I can really get it healed up in time, and maybe putting a little more pressure. I find it hard to believe that Jenkins would be happy to do the position change. He's watching Banks get paid. He's watching him draft two guys in the first couple of rounds in the last two drafts. Obviously, they just paid Tom. I think that if he really I mean, and if I was in his position, I'll be honest, I would probably be searching for at least some sort of guaranteed money, some sort of compensation that lets me know that you guys are going to want me for the next year at least, or not, if not more. You know what I mean? And we always talk about NFL stands for not for long. Elton Jenkins is a very smart man. I don't think that he's going to be putting his head in the sand and thinking that, you know, but I could also see the fact that if Goody really comes out there and says, play this contract, that's what we expect. And we'll maybe talk next year if you know, if you've got some sort of performance that we absolutely love. I could see them totally giving him a great deal maybe in the following year. But we have to remember he's about to turn 30, right? So I think that I understand both sides. Like you said, it's hard for me to – I'm not going to go out and make a heavy stance, but I think that I understand both sides of the scenario right now.
Fair statement from Respect Oranges here. You know, bending down repeatedly to snap the ball can get your back hurting, especially as you get older in your NFL body. So if he's being asked to take these reps, like, who knows, right? It's fair.
Here's the thing I want to say about that with the center position. If I was in an offensive lineman's shoes and they were saying, hey, we want you to play center, I would much rather play any other position. It sounds silly, but you having to bend all the way over every single snap, I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older now or what, and I'm getting soft. Oh, my God, I hate the thought of that. That's just like playing catcher in baseball back in the day. It's like, oh, my God, your knees after a ball game. I used to have so much respect for those guys that could catch. It's just like, how do y'all do this all day long? So I get it, man. I get it. Let's move on to Quay Walker here. As I thought this was great news. You guys know Quay was last seen on a scooter, right? And he's starting the training camp on that list we talked about, right, where he wasn't going to participate. Well, Matt Schneidman had tweeted this out at 10:40 a.m. Central Time. He said, Gutekunst says Quay Walker had a, quote, cleanup done this offseason that will keep him out for a bit, but not too long. It was an ankle procedure. So the ankle injury last year, obviously they went in, probably had it scoped, cleaned that out real good, and now they're looking to get him back. And then this was really cool because notice the timeline here, guys, 5:07 p.m. So this was just a couple hours ago, really. Rob Demovsky tweeted out, we could see Quay Walker on the field tomorrow. Past the physical, Micah Robinson, DB out of Tulane, let's go, and Quay Walker, linebacker out of Georgia. So, Jacob, like Quay Walker might be on the practice field tomorrow, man. This is great news here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've discussed on this podcast what a difference maker it is to have Quay and Edgerrin Cooper on the field at the same time. I believe it was Emilio that pointed out that it only happened once last year. For whatever reason, that they never really got to be on that field together. I think it's going to be a massively important part of this team and of this defense. In my opinion, the biggest glaring weakness, I don't think it's the DB room. I honestly do think that it's the linebacker room. If there's any sort of injury to our starting three, and depending on what we've got with Isaiah and with guys like Hopper, we think we know what we have with McDuffie. I think we know what we've kind of got with Cooper. Quay is still somewhat of a question mark to me, even though I believe that he's taken drastic steps. We've seen how he's matured, right? Remember that we had the kind of hothead Quay. We've seen that, possibly games in the past, but I'm very excited. I think he's going to take a step. I think he's become an even better pro, and I'm excited to see what he does.
Tim, I know you're not excited about seeing Quay Walker on the practice field, are you, man?
Are you kidding me? I almost climbed the fence today trying to go say what's up. This makes me feel so good because, I was out there since, 9:30 or, 9 o'clock this morning, something like that. And it was great to see Quay walking around without, the boot and without the little ankle scooter thingy-majig that he was scooting around with. But I got to tell you, I'm not a doctor. I don't know if Dr. Holmes is in the chat tonight here with us, but he was looking a little, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Walked a little gingerly. He looked a little, Emilio's talked about it too, coming back from knee surgery, like you don't really trust it. So if he had a little cleanup procedure and they just got him out of the boot and he passed the physical today, so that makes me feel so much better about what I saw today because I got nervous for a little bit. It looked like he was being very slow and deliberate with every step that he took. So if we get to see him out on the practice field tomorrow, running and jogging and doing things like that, I'm really excited for that because, to Jacob's point, Quay kind of brings is up and down as he has been at times in his career throughout his development. he does bring a stability factor to the middle of our defense. And that can just be being the green dot. I mean, imagine if Quay is able to just keep that green dot and you got Edrin Cooper running loose. We could be in a really good position seeing those two guys on the field. So I'm really excited for this.
Yeah, Packer says Quay all the way. He brings that intensity we need. I love to see fans being positive about Quay because, it seems to be kind of the popular thing to pile on there. Yeah. I want him to work out so bad. Just knowing Quay Walker and Edrin Cooper could be in the middle of that defense for a long time to come. Two physical freaks, but I'm not going to kid myself into thinking that, I think Quay is better than what we've seen on the field. There's definitely a lot more he needs to tap in.